Hi, beautiful friends. I wanted to come on and do a reading today. Yesterday, I had to rest my energy. That happens sometimes with readers where they run out of energy. But anyway, so yesterday I took a day to kind of rest my energy. My dogs will be barking a little bit. I'll try and hit stop when they start barking. But yeah, let's get into it. So I was hearing a few different things about this reading. I was hearing anxious attachment, anxious avoidant. So you could be dealing with a runner-chaser situation. And that's just a way to describe the energy. So a chaser would be someone who's, anxiously attached, comes from a place of wounding. A runner would be someone who's anxious avoidant, who avoids connection. And it's very common that people with these tendencies or woundings attract each other. And it's meant to integrate a lesson. It's meant to teach you how to free yourself from that, which isn't easy. So we'll see if runner chaser comes out. But those are the things that I was hearing. So let's get into it. Let's see what collective we're channeling. I've been channeling a very specific collective the last few days, which is probably why very heavy energy, which is why I feel like yesterday I needed to rest my energy. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see what collective we're tapping into today. My nose is starting to run already. So you could be dealing with a runner. And in a sense, maybe this is a wound that you've kind of been running from in a way, subconsciously, by chasing. Right before I started this reading, this video popped up on my YouTube about this type of energy. And although the delivery was a little harsh, it was very interesting to listen to. So again, it popped up. I was already hearing anxious attachment, anxious avoidant, and 222 on the timer as I said that, and then this video popped up right before I started my reading, so I listened to most of it. I'm just going to shuffle one more time. All right, so let's see what's going on here. We'll cut the deck. We have the Phoenix. Beautiful. So perhaps you are phoenixing anxious attachment energy, or the person you're connected to is phoenixing out of avoidant energy, or that chaser-runner dynamic. But we'll have to wait and see. The Phoenix says, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. So one thing I'm hearing is it's common, I've done it, it's common when we have these wounds, we tend to attract a certain type of person. Even if it's not the same person over and over again, it could be the same type of energy in a different meat suit, in a different body. And for a long time, when I was attracting the energy of like people taking advantage of me and me not being able to put up boundaries, and that's not just romantic love, that's family, that was hiring people, friendships. What I was missing is that there was a lesson for me to learn in it. But I spent all my time kind of victimizing myself. Like, why do I keep attracting these people? Do I have, take advantage of me tattooed on my forehead? And I would always complain about how I would always attract this energy, but I was attracting it because I was meant to integrate a lesson that, hang on, April 13th, 14th could be symbolic. Anyway, I kept attracting this energy in because I was meant to learn how to put up boundaries. I was meant to kind of free myself from overgiving, people pleasing, being overly patient with, people who were taking advantage of me. So let's see what comes out. So what collective are we channeling here? What's going on around you? What is going on around you? Yep, we have not enough. frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, and ego issues. So when we anxiously attach, or when we overgive, or when we people please, it comes from a place where we don't feel enough. And we feel like we have to prove ourselves to others or earn their love. And so you could have been showing up in a connection with this energy, and the person you were dealing with could have had the same energy, acting from a place of fear and ego. But I feel like this connection kind of triggered that lack of self-confidence in you. Sometimes when we're not confident, we hold on to things longer than we should, or we accept less than we deserve, or we settle, right, for bad behavior. So this was really a lesson for you to phoenix out of this energy and to know that you are enough, whether someone chooses you or not. And I bet you attracted somebody who also struggled with fear and ego and lack of confidence, but kind of ran from you or avoided you. And I feel like whoever this is, we have heart with a key. So I'm hearing that this person held the key to this lesson you needed to learn finally. Like this could have been an energy that you experienced throughout your life at different times, in school, at jobs, maybe you were someone who stayed in a position, a job where they weren't, or a family, right, or a friendship, where they weren't appreciating you, but you stayed out of fear of abandonment or fear of being alone, or just fear of not being good enough. And I feel like whatever connection this is, I don't know what these other two cards are yet, but I feel like this person held the key to finally help you heal this, by not putting up with less than you deserve, by detaching the attachment you felt for them. So I feel like there was an important lesson that you were meant to learn from this connection, same with this person. And you probably feel like this person is the one for you. And again, that video, it was very blunt. Just the delivery was a little blunt, but I did agree with most of what this person was saying, which is, even that idea that this is the only person you could ever be with shows a bit of attachment. The key to secure attachment, or the energy of secure attachment, would to, release that, no matter if you think they're the one or not. And I know that you can't just do that, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to be unattached now, I'm not going to think about them. It's not as easy as that. So we do have the snake. So this could have been someone who maybe there was competition, maybe they felt competitive with you, there could have been third-party energy. But it's kind of like a little bit of toxic energy. So yeah, it's a little bit of toxic energy. And I feel like you stayed, or you kept giving, because you felt like they were the one, and maybe you were, coming from a place of not feeling enough. So you were accepting less than you deserved. We also have Hand of Cards. So it feels like this person wasn't really being open and honest with you. They could have been very distant with you, holding their cards close to their chest, and you could have even felt like an option to this person. And that's what I mean, that anxious attachment, or that chaser energy. If this person was making you feel like an option, it could have made you want to fight for it or try and prove yourself. When the healthy thing to do when someone's treating you like an option and not prioritizing is to say, this isn't healthy for me and I prefer something healthier. September 27th, December 2nd, 3rd, 4th could be symbolic. And like I said, I know it's not easy, especially when you feel like someone's the one. It's not as simple as, I'm just going to let it go. What's underneath Heart with the Key? The Chaser. This is exactly what I mean. So I feel like you're evolving out of this, but Again, this is that anxious attachment energy. Fear of abandonment issues. So you fear that, you'll lose this person if you say something or you set boundaries. Clearly, this person could have been showing up a bit toxic. They could have been showing up as making you feel like an option, very guarded, withdrawn. And maybe, like I said, you wanted them to choose you, or you felt like you had to prove your worth or chase them for consistency, for love, for healing. All right, let's see what else comes out. What else is going to come out, Spirit? There's one. Let's get one more. All right. So we have Sword in the Rose, clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, power. And this is giving me Queen of Swords energy. So I feel like you are evolving out of this energy. And if you're still in a connection like this where you're chasing them and they're making you feel like an option and you feel like they're the one and you don't want to give up, and you have thoughts like, I wish this person would choose me, I wish they would show up differently, I wish they would heal, it might be time to put up boundaries. And maybe you couldn't see this clearly until you left. We do have heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. And it's hard to put up boundaries when you were never taught how to, or like I said, I kept attracting people that would take advantage of me because I didn't have the strength to put up boundaries. And once you do go through a period where, of course, you feel heartbroken. But putting up boundaries and not accepting less than you deserve empowers you, and it releases you from that attachment. Now, this video I was watching mentioned something that I wanted to mention to you, which is there's a difference between detaching and putting up boundaries because you truly know that you deserve better. There's a difference between that and doing it in hopes that they'll come back, right? So if you're doing it with the intention of, well, if I put up boundaries, that'll teach them a lesson and then they'll come back. That's not the right incentive. It's about you and no longer accepting less than you deserve and releasing that attachment, because that's healing for you, right? And it changes your energy. This video was talking about how it opens up our energy when we release attachment, and that helps us raise our vibration. I'm curious, though, what's going on with this person that you're connected to. Again, I feel like for some of you, maybe you haven't put up the boundary yet because you're afraid of being in separation or feeling lost or alone. For others of you, I think that you had to face that fear. Again, when you heal that attachment or when you release that attachment and you know that even if you felt like this person was the one, they're not showing up in a healthy way, or they're not opening up to you, or they're not emotionally available, it changes your energy so that you can attract in people who are worthy of your time and energy and who will match that energy. All right, I want to see what's going on with this person. The person you're connected to energetically. The person you're connected to energetically. Oh my goodness. So again, don't put up the boundary thinking that this is what I have to do to get them back. You want to put up that boundary for you. Make it about you. It's about choosing yourself and moving forward with or without them. Photograph, looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, wanting to make new memories. So this person is thinking about you, very like Six of Cups energy, nostalgic about you. Interesting. We have kisses, love, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. So it feels like this person, like I said, I feel like they weren't giving you that. I feel like they were withdrawn from you. They, again, weren't showing up. And again, I think that you guys attracted each other to heal these things out. And again, the more we chase, the more we try and prove ourselves, the more we self-sacrifice, trying to get them to choose us, the more it triggers their avoidance. And the worse you feel. So there's something about giving and receiving affection, equal give and take, and then we have lightning. So perhaps they didn't expect you to put up boundaries. This says sudden change, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. So they're having some sort of light bulb moment right now about this. And again, I think whoever I'm channeling, you finally chose yourself. And that's why this transformation is happening, because you've released that attachment to the outcome. So maybe in the past you tried to do this, hoping that it would wake them up, and then it didn't wake them up, and then they came back and repeated a pattern. And then you started like getting sucked back into that cycle of overgiving. This time it feels different. This time it feels like you have released that attachment and you're focused on you. You're choosing yourself, phoenixing out of chaser energy. And I feel like that's why it's caused this upheaval and this transformation. This person could also be going through tower moments in their life. And then we have ascending. So you both have this energy of ascension, which happens when you release the attachment. Transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase. So they're going through a new phase here. Look at the balloons. They're rising up. Probably because you let go, right? Energetically. All right. So that's positive. But you know what I'm going to say? If you've been working on choosing yourself, working on healthier boundaries, it means that when this person comes back, Six of Cups, wanting to make new memories, right? Wanting to transcend obstacles with you, you don't want to go back into that energy of chasing them or accepting less than you deserve. Or, like I said, attaching to them again. So I actually want to see how you're feeling about this person right now. And I'm not telling you how you're feeling. You would be feeling this way. All right. So let's see how you're feeling about this person right now. You have loyalty. So you could have been very loyal, very trusting of them. Again, you could have been showing up much longer than you should have been. We also have mistakes, lost soul, misunderstood. So you could have unconditional love for this person, knowing that they were just a lost soul, a fragmented soul who had healing that they needed to do. But again, the healthy thing to do is to release attachment to them, knowing that it doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter if they're your twin flame, your best friend, your family member. If you were accepting less than you deserved, then it wasn't healthy for you. So, and again, you could be an empath, like someone with a lot of compassion for wounded souls, to the point where you were loyal and compassionate and giving and patient much more than you should have been. Another thing is that sometimes, maybe all the time, I mean, I can't say for certain, but empaths will attract this energy where someone kind of comes in and breaks them down to the point where they have to empower themselves. So that could be the case here too. Like you could resonate with being an empath. But I think you're being more loyal to yourself now, is what I'm hearing. So let's see how you're feeling about this person. Let's see how you're feeling about this person. You could have been married to them. We have commitment, marriage, promises, fidelity. So I think that you were loyal to this person. But what I'm seeing, they could have been making you feel like an option, whether that was with work, other people. There could have been other people involved. Maybe they didn't want to commit and they wanted to stay single, right? Keep their options open. But it feels like you do feel a bond with this person. Maybe you were married to them or you saw yourself marrying to them. I'm hearing you could also feel a soul commitment with them, like they came into your life for a reason. And there's something about you seeing through the veil is what I'm hearing. Like you could see through their programming, you could see through their wounding. You saw them as a lost soul. So again, just because we can see through that veil and we can see someone's acting from a wounded place doesn't mean that it's our job to fix them. We have spying for how you're feeling about them, so you could feel like they're keeping an eye on you. Brown eyes could be symbolic. Maybe you've seen them, watching you. I'm not really on social media much, but I know on Facebook stories and other things, you can see who's watching you. So maybe you've seen them watching you, or maybe you just have this, very interesting. Maybe you just have this inner knowing. We do have nourish, so self-growth, self-focus, soul-finding. And I think that's what you're focused on. 222 on the timer again. February 22nd could be symbolic. February 22nd, 2022. So self-growth, self-focus, soul-finding. So right now you are focused on your self-growth, soul-searching, healing. And what I'm seeing is that you feel like this person needs to do the same if they're going to be able to show up in a healthy way. And that's what you deserve. You deserve a healthy connection. And we have second chance here, making amends, reconciliation. So you could have even set a boundary with yourself that the only way that you'll ever reconcile with this person is if they do the inner work, because you can't do the inner work for them. And if you are someone who is healing and ascending, right? Even though you want this connection to work, it's really difficult to make a connection work unless you're both healing. Like it doesn't just work if you're showing up and doing all the emotional lifting, right? So what I'm seeing is if this person wanted another shot with you, they would need to show you that they've grown and changed. We also have memories. So clearly you think about memories with this person. It says bittersweet symphony. And it can be bittersweet. Like maybe you are feeling healthier because you're prioritizing yourself. Instead of waiting for someone to choose you, you're choosing yourself. Instead of waiting for someone to be consistent with you, you're being consistent with yourself. You're on that hermit journey. And so it could feel bittersweet because you could almost feel healthier, happier, less anxious, less attached. And for some of you, that may feel very bittersweet. All right, let's get 2 more for how you feel about them. Twin flame came out. Twin flame. So you could have even felt, we have stuck on the bottom. We have stuck, trapped on the bottom. So you even could have felt that because they were your twin flame, you were meant to keep chasing them, or you were meant to keep trying to help them, or you were meant to, again, you could have been very set on an outcome here, like that is my person, I don't want anyone else, even though they weren't showing up in a healthy way. And that's what I mean by that trapped energy. Maybe you felt trapped by the label, or you felt even just such a strong soul tie that you had a really hard time releasing that attachment. Twin flame. Mirroring, shared feelings, reflection. And we have intimacy, bonding, sensual, confiding. So clearly you felt this intense bond with them, like a spark with them. And again, twin flames, it's very hard to release that attachment to the outcome. All right. And again, twin flames, they're meant to mirror back to you what you need to heal. Things you've been avoiding healing, things you didn't even know that you needed to heal, right? All your wounds come to the surface and are triggered so that you can finally heal them. Let's see how they're feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? Shocking again. Oh my. All right. Chemistry. So they feel the same intense chemistry with you, that soul spark, that attraction. It has nothing to do with your meat suit. It has to do with your soul. So they feel this, you know what it feels like. They feel it too. Maybe they don't know what it is. This is very interesting. We have bluff, mask. So first of all, I do feel like this person was wearing a mask with you, and maybe you called them out on it, or maybe you pointed out, like, I can see through your programming, I can see through your wounding, I can see through these actions that are coming from ego. I'm hearing like you have twin flames, so I feel like probably wounded masculine energy, argumentative, defensive, withdrawn, not prioritizing love, prioritizing work, toxic traits. So I do feel like this person saw that you could see through that. The other thing, like this person could have thought that you were bluffing when you put up boundaries. They could have thought, oh, especially if you have a history of chasing, they could have thought that they'll be back. They'll be back. I'll hear from them again. And I think they're realizing that you weren't bluffing. We have shocking. So I don't think they were expecting this. I think they were expecting you to reach out and chase. They thought you were bluffing. And we have soulmates, deep love, unity, connection. So they do feel, that Millie. They do feel a soul bond with you. Deep love, unity, connection. And I feel like it scared them. And they pulled away. How are they feeling about you? How are they feeling about you? Time. Withdrawn. So they feel like you're very withdrawn right now. That you're not focused on them, that you're making changes. You're no longer focused on them. Pain, apprehensive, afraid, cautious. Again, this energy is like that Queen of Swords energy. So I think that they know that they caused you pain. But it's also an energy where they feel afraid to come towards you because you are standing in that Sword in the Rose energy, Queen of Swords energy. You're protecting your energy. You know your worth. Like the Queen of Swords is not just about cutting someone off for power or to hurt them. Or again, if I cut them off, they'll change. Queen of Swords is when you speak from an authentic place without fear of being abandoned. You put up boundaries. You know your worth. It's very powerful energy. And again, maybe you were in a cycle of not being able to do this. And when you did this, it empowered you. Like, again, maybe you grieved when you first did it. It's possible. Hang on. It's possible that at first, you were afraid to put up boundaries because you were afraid that they would run or pull away. And perhaps when you did, they did exactly that and you had to mourn them. But I think now you're empowered. And we have time, so they're waiting for the right time to come in. Cycles, so clearly you were in a cycle with this person or a pattern, but they're waiting for the right time to come in. And for some of them, they could have been waiting for you to reach back out to them. They could have thought, like, this won't last, I'll hear from them. But I think that, possibly in the past, you would have reached out by now, and I think that they're aware of how much time has passed and that you haven't self-sacrificed your boundaries. And we have withdrawn, lonely. They feel lonely without you. They feel like you've completely withdrawn your energy. And that's the thing, is, again, it's about energetic detachment. So if you are detaching physically, but you're still attached to that outcome, you're still energetically holding on to them. And energetically, twin flames, it's hard to explain, but energetically they can feel that and they stay in that runner energy. But I think that this time you've actually energetically detached. I could use the energy, like the term manipulating energy. I'm not calling you manipulative. Please don't take it that way. But if you put up these boundaries and you're still attached to them, hoping that they'll change, that could be like trying to manipulate the energy a little. It's about truly detaching, truly releasing the outcome, choosing yourself, looking at them, thinking that version of them does not align with my highest good. So you energetically detach. I'm going to get two more. Two more for how they're feeling about you. I'm daydreaming about you. Not surprised. As much as you can, if you're trying to detach, try your best not to think about them. Or you also don't want to suppress that, though. So if they pop into your mind, just observe that thought and let it pass. We have emotional storm. So look, they're sitting in their emotions right now because, again, they wouldn't be here unless you have energetically detached. Like, this is more than just speaking of it's more than just putting up boundaries. It's you've energetically done it. You've energetically detached. You've phoenixed out of that chaser energy. And it's affecting them. Explains the anxiety that I was feeling earlier. We have daydreaming, imagining, fantasizing about you. Oh my gosh, my dogs. Hang on. I just had to wait such a long time for my dogs to stop barking. On that note, and I don't feel like I have to defend my dogs or anything, but I do my best to have a quiet atmosphere while I'm doing my readings, but I don't live alone. We're a family of 6. I've got 4 kids who are here all the time. We've got 3 dogs, and I refuse to be Ruby Frankie. And if you don't know who that is, anyway, I refuse to scream and yell at my dogs to be quiet just because I'm recording. I do my best. For those of you who are neurodivergent and have noise sensitivities, I try my best. I wear noise-canceling headphones all of the time because noise hurts me. I've always been that way. So I sympathize with those of you who have that energy where it hurts you, like noise hurts you. I completely agree. Light hurts me. Noise hurts me. Clothes hurt me. I do what I can, but again, I will not bring myself down to Ruby Frankie's level, and silence my whole household. I do my best. So for how, speaking of dogs, they should be done now. I hear Bear crying. So we have longing, craving, aching, wanting. And that's what I mean. It's because you've actually energetically detached. And then we have only you. Attached, craving, and twin flame dynamic. We talk about this with the magnets. As long as you are energetically still attached to them, thinking about them, longing for them, making them your focal point or your center focus, whatever the words are, you're still energetically attached, right? And the energy I'm seeing here is very symbolic of you actually energetically detaching and releasing. So it's causing a difference in the energy. So let's see how they're feeling about themselves. That's my new favorite question to ask. That, and where are they on the healing journey? So, how are they feeling about themselves right now? How are they feeling about themselves right now? How are they feeling about themselves? Karmic lessons, repeated patterns. So remember in the beginning of this reading when I was talking about how I went through a pattern where I felt like I had take advantage of me tattooed on my forehead. Right now, this person is reflecting on their repeated patterns. So they are starting to see a pattern in themselves, not just from this connection, but from earlier in their life. We have arrogance, ego, stubborn. So they're starting to realize that they were acting from a place of ego, that they were being very stubborn when it came to recognizing these patterns. They could be recognizing that whatever you were doing was triggering their ego. And we have stress. Feeling very stressed out about themselves right now. I think that they're realizing here with these two cards and the repeated patterns that their ego and their fear and their avoidance was part of the problem that led to some of these arguments. Just like us overgiving and asking to be chosen and trying to prove ourselves can lead to arguments, right? Like if we have to do that, that's a sign that we're not in a healthy connection. Even if we unconditionally love them, even if they're our twin flame, even if insert whatever. We have confessions, coming clean, messages, unveiling, right? And I was talking about seeing through that veil, the veil of programming. Like, I think they're seeing through that veil. I think they're seeing their patterns and things like that, just like you are, mirroring. So again, it has to be more than just, oh, I'm going to put up boundaries and I'm not going to reach out to them, but I'm going to continue to think about them. I'm going to continue to look at them online. I'm going to continue to long for them. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm trying not to be harsh about this because, again, anything I talk about here, I wouldn't be able to talk about it unless I've lived through it. I know how difficult it is. I know how difficult it is to detach from energies, from friends, from family, from soul contracts, from addictions. All right. The last thing I want to do is offend you. I hope to empower you, not offend you. So the deck that I'm using, this is the Dark Mansion Tarot. We have the Empress on the bottom, Divine Feminine. And again, true Divine Feminine energy is no longer allowing toxic behavior, unhealthy people to walk all over you, not allowing people who you have to prove yourself to or beg for them to choose you. that a wounded feminine accepts that energy. A divine feminine puts up boundaries. There's so many lessons the divine feminine is meant to learn. Lessons about patience, lessons about their intuition, trusting their intuition, lessons about surrendering control, releasing the outcome, putting themselves first, choosing themselves. Again, if you're asking somebody to choose you, it's a sign that you're meant to be choosing yourself, because you should never have to ask anyone to choose you. That goes for anything. So divine feminine energy, standing in your power, boundaries up, strong foundation. And we have the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords, there was an actual ending here. You weren't just saying, I'm ending it and putting up boundaries, right? But then energetically still attached to them. You hit a breaking point here. Like, this connection hit its breaking point with the 10 of Swords. And I feel like you've been integrating these lessons, 10 of Swords. And again, I see this as you will not go back to the way things were, right? I saw it in how you felt about them. The only way you'll consider making amends, reconciliation, is if they heal. So the version that existed between the two of you, that version of the connection, is now gone. Oh my goodness. And we have 10-10. We have 10-10 underneath that, which is symbolic of the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new one. New phase. You had Phoenix. New phase. They had ascending. New phase. So the way this connection existed, you can't ever go back to the way it was. That cycle is over. 10 of Pentacles is underneath this. So the only way that you'll go back, is what I'm hearing, is if there's long-term stability, change, right? Lasting change. All right. We have the Magician. The Magician can be about willpower. It's also about communication, being proactive. I feel like you're being more proactive for yourself. And again, I feel like you're having the willpower to detach and really embrace that divine feminine energy and keep your boundaries strong. Because it does take willpower not to chase. And again, I don't want you to try and suppress feelings about them. Feel the feelings you need to feel about them. Mourn them. Release that energy. If they keep popping into your head, if you still feel that strong soul bond, acknowledge it. Don't suppress it. Anyway, I just cut open the Knight of Wands. Runner energy, right? Strength, having the strength not to chase them, because that chasing, that anxious attachment comes from a place of lack of confidence, lack of inner strength. So again, you are staying strong in your inner strength, not chasing this runner, detaching. And you know what I say about that? There could be a test to see if, I see this person as changing, transforming, according to Spirit right now. But sometimes there are tests where we're tested. Have we truly detached? Are we still going to accept less than we deserve? Spirit will send us this person or somebody else in similar energy to test us, to see if, have we truly integrated that lesson? So if you are, noticing other people, like at work or friends, where you feel this way, that could be a way where you have to integrate the lesson there too. All right, so I'm going to cut the deck. I'll cut it this way. We have the 10 of Cups. So focusing on your emotional fulfillment, focusing on your family, focusing on things that detaching from lower vibrational things that you feel like you need to chase, and focusing on fulfillment. So let's see your energy first. So show me the viewer's energy. Show me the viewer's energy. Love it. I love it. So, you, my friend, are stepping out of your comfort zone and you're making decisions about your future. And you're looking at the patterns that have kept you stuck from moving forward. Patterns like fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. I think that you left this out in the cold and it was outside of your comfort zone to do so. I see you as transitioning here. Again, stepping outside of your comfort zone, thinking about what you want for the future. We have judgment. I got to show you these cards. They're so beautiful. So judgment. So you could even be thinking about what you want in a connection in the future, or how this person would need to show up. But I would think about the type of relationship you want in the future rather than sticking this person's face on it. And like I said, I feel like releasing the attachment could have been outside of your comfort zone with the Two of Wands. I'm seeing you as doing a lot of self-evaluation of your own patterns that have kept you stuck in this connection in other areas. Good. Judgment, awakening. Making decisions, empowering decisions that are outside of your comfort zone. Lots of self-evaluation here. I like it. And we have the Chariot. So this is showing me that you're no longer energetically attached to this person. You're moving forward. You're taking your horse and buggy and you're continuing forward into alignment, onto what is for your highest good, onto your path. Very good. Again, that Chariot shows me that you are moving forward with or without this person. You're taking, if you look at this image, right? The white horse is meant to be, to me, is the divine feminine energy. The black horse is the masculine energy. And you can even see in this image, the masculine horse, not talking about gender, is kind of resisting, right? It's like the divine feminine in this image is taking the lead. Look at this. It's like, I don't care how stuck you are, I'm moving forward. I'm moving myself into alignment. Which again, maybe moving forward is outside of your comfort zone. Maybe for some of you, you're making a decision about traveling or moving as well. You know what I'm going to say? Take that trip. Maybe you were waiting to see if you would reconnect with this person before taking a trip or moving. Start living your life for you. Don't be making decisions about your life based on, oh, maybe this person will come back, so I'll just wait, right? Waiting, you're definitely not waiting, the Chariot. But yeah, nice. Let's see how you're feeling about this person. How are you feeling about this person? How are you feeling about this person? So we have the Hanged Man and we have the Fool on the bottom. So for how you're feeling about this person, you see them as withdrawn. You feel like you've surrendered the connection, Hanged Man energy, that you need to embrace this period of uncertainty where you don't know what's going on with them. But this is also about new perspectives. So I'm seeing with the Fool on the bottom, Aries. We also have Cancer with the Chariot, and we have Pisces with Hanged Man. I feel like in order to have a new beginning, they would need to show you that they've surrendered to healing, they've surrendered to change. They'd need to show you a new perspective, right? A new version of themselves with that Fool. And we have Temperance. So again, when it comes to this person, I feel like you're no longer putting pressure on it. I am actively creating the best version of myself. That's your affirmation. Good for you. But Temperance shows Sagittarius energy. For how you feel about them, I do believe that they would have to show you a new perspective with the Hanged Man, and that they've healed and that they're coming in more balanced, right? Maybe you feel like they need to re-examine the priorities they've chosen. You know, it's kind of, Temperance is a very like trusting in divine timing energy for whatever is for your highest good. It's patience. So I don't feel like you're waiting for this person. I feel like you're trusting in whatever is for your highest good will come in. And again, sometimes just holding on to that energy of, well, I can only be with them. They're the only one I want. They're the only one I'm interested in being in, is a form of still being attached. Underneath the Fool, we have the Seven of Swords for how you feel about them. So you're done with the games, right? You're done with the deceit. You're done with the toxic behavior. You're done with them running away. You're done with them. Like, it looks to me like you feel like this person needs to stop deceiving themselves and start to, like, stop running away from their shadows. And again, they would need to show you a new version where they aren't in the Seven of Swords energy. All right, let's see their energy. July 10th could be symbolic. What is their energy? Okay, we have the Page of Cups. So they're connecting with their inner child. New perspective. They're seeing a new perspective of this. Isn't that interesting? That the energy that you're putting out, I would need to see a brand new perspective of this person. Like, they would have to look like a whole new person in the same meat suit, right? Ace of Cups. Emotional awakening. Tapping into their emotions. Not their head, their emotions. Thinking about love. New perspectives about love. Think about how they were feeling about themselves. So I think this person is realizing that maybe from a wounded place, inner child, Page of Cups. I don't think this is new love. For those of you who I just heard somebody say, that looks like they're in a different relationship. That's not what I'm hearing. This is about self, based on this reading, the cards we've gotten. This is about them connecting to their inner child. New perspectives on love. Wanting to revisit a past connection, tapping into their emotions. We even have a dragonfly there, so their perspective is shifting. You know, they weren't seeing it clearly before. They were seeing it with a veil over themselves, right? They were seeing it with their ego, with their wounded parts. I'm going to get one more. We have Four of Wands on the bottom, Seven of Wands, boundaries. So it's like this energy of wanting to come home, wanting to return. Boundaries. All right, let's see. Show me their current energy. Eight of Pentacles, they're working on themselves. Self-mastery, investing in themselves, working on their stability. Devil in reverse, becoming more self-aware about unhealthy patterns, about toxicity. Could be releasing a karmic here. The end of codependency. And that devil energy, that codependency, I always used to think like, oh, codependent attachment, that's that anxious attachment. But some people who experience this feeling of codependence, feeling like they're attached to someone, it makes them run, it makes them avoid. But becoming more self-aware. How are they feeling about you? How are they feeling about you? Two of Cups. Aren't these cards so cute? They remind me of the Corpse Bride. The Two of Cups. So mutual feelings, wanting to reunite, wanting to have an open and honest conversation with you. This person does love you. Oh my gosh, we have the Emperor for how this person feels about you. So first of all, they feel like they need to take control of this situation, right? And have a conversation with you. But remember, they're feeling afraid and apprehensive, so they're not ready yet. I also feel like since the separation, they see you as someone standing in your masculine energy. And I don't think they know what that is. I don't think they're over there like, oh, that person is in their masculine energy. We're talking about energy. So they see you as someone standing strong in your boundaries, someone releasing the idea that you can fix them, someone who knows their worth and isn't willing to lower or self-sacrifice themselves. Confident, but they know they need to take the lead here. You could be working on your foundation. You could also be a boss. How are they feeling about you? King of Wands. So there is a lot of sexual attraction here. 10 of Pentacles on the bottom. So they do feel long-term potential with you, commitment. King of Wands for how they feel about you. That's another energy where they feel like they need to take control of this. Clearly sexual attraction here. Maybe for some of you, they need to take control of a 10 of Pentacles situation, right? Maybe they're in like maybe they're in a marriage or a connection where they're codependently attached to it, not because of emotion, but because of shared finances, children, things like that. 7 of Cups. So they have clarity about this, right? 7 of Cups, it would be like they're seeing you as an option. 7 of Cups in reverse, they have clarity about how you are the one they want. But the 7 of Cups in reverse is also about they're not ready to like make a move towards you yet. Which I said when I saw, like if they're feeling afraid to come towards you, they're not ready yet. One more for how they feel about you. One more for how they feel. The Empress. So they feel like you're not chasing them. They feel like you're very down to earth, nurturing, loving, giving, healthy, I'm hearing. But again, you're focused on yourself. You're not chasing them anymore. It's funny that Emperor and Empress came out together and we had the 4 of Wands. So they're seeing you as their match. We have the 10 of Wands. They're feeling very weighed down by this. It's weighing very heavily on them. It makes sense whether, when I asked about how they felt about you with those cards, it's all about, even the black cards, it's all about missing you, thinking about you, like this is weighing heavily on them. Stressed out, weighed down. Maybe they have a lot of responsibilities or chaos in their life that they need to work through before they take action towards you. You know, if they're seeing you as Empress, this could also be someone with a mother wound. All right. Let's see. I want to see where you are on your healing journey. Where are you on your healing journey? Death. This is showing me that you are transforming. You are phoenixing. Again, the version of this, the past version of you, how you showed up in this connection, it's gone. Death is also about, you know, I think that you're no longer you're giving into change. So you're changing yourself. You know, maybe you're even transforming your body, I'm hearing. But I feel like this person could have been resistant to change. Or there could have been negative emotional patterns being repeated. And you're ending those negative emotional patterns, which can be that anxious attachment. It can be overgiving, people pleasing. It can be running. It can be whatever this person was doing. You're embracing change and you're no longer accepting those negative emotional patterns is what I'm hearing. Scorpio energy, we have 8 of Wands. So right now, we also had Aries, Taurus, and Libra, fire. But right now, you could be moving or traveling or thinking about it. But as far as your healing journey, you are going through rapid change and rapid growth and transformation. So there's multiple things that you're working on here and transforming in your life, in your own energy, in your healing. Rapid change and rapid growth. You're going through an acceleration is what I'm hearing. Makes sense with the Phoenix. That's lovely. I like that for you. What might still be blocking you? What might still be blocking you? We've got the 2 of Swords. Okay, so what might be blocking you still is that you could still struggle with your intuition and your ego, right? There could be a choice that you're meant to be making in your life right now that you're struggling with. But I'm hearing it's about... We've got the 7 of Pentacles on the bottom. So it feels like as a blockage, what could be blocking you is that you haven't seen the rewards of your investment in this connection. Maybe not even in yourself. Like maybe this has shifted in you, but you haven't felt it yet. What could be blocking you is you could still be investing in situations that are stuck and stagnant, like friendships, work situations, behaviors, things like that. You could still be investing in things that isn't returning the investment, you know? So there could be, think about what's going on in your life and think about what areas are stuck and stagnant. That's what's blocking you. Anything stuck and stagnant. Again, it's the same. This video that I watched earlier was about, it's not about raising your vibration, which I can see the person's point, but at the same time, as someone spiritual, I can see how raising your vibration is healthy and helps. But they were describing it as, it's not about raising your vibration, it's about releasing things that weigh you down, that are stuck and stagnant, like this connection. So just look around your life at what feels stuck and stagnant, where there's not any growth, and try and release those things because they're keeping you energetically weighed down. And again, it could be work related with the 7 of Pentacles, it could be friendships. Where are you like overextending yourself? All right, let's see where they are on their healing journey. Where are they on their healing journey? That's really good. Oh yes, we have the Hermit. Virgo energy, that is really good. Self-reflection, isolation. That's really good. Hermit energy. So they're going within and reflecting, which that twin flame journey, that's what it's about. We also have the 6 of Pentacles. So for some of you, this could be about they're getting help with their healing from an advisor, from a counselor. Maybe they stumbled upon a random video on YouTube like I did this morning right before this reading, where they're starting to understand energy or learn about unhealthy patterns or attachment styles. They're receiving help in some way on their healing journey. We have the Three of Wands. So, very interesting, because in the distance there's a horse and buggy. And that's how I was seeing you. Like, they're like, wait for me. I shouldn't laugh, but it's almost like, again, the feminine leads the way. So right now, this is an energy of progress and growth. Yours is rapid, though. Like, yours is rapid transformation and growth. Theirs is like progress and growth, but yours is, it's like you're on fast forward is what I'm hearing. You're on like an accelerated path here, an accelerated transformation. But yeah, Three of Wands, that's really good. Thinking about the future, wanting to grow, wanting to change, wanting to progress, learning what makes a healthy relationship, because the Three of Wands is about, they've stepped out of their comfort zone. So maybe part of their comfort zone was not changing, withdrawal, not making decisions, not wanting to settle down, anything else that I forgot to mention. And right now it feels like the Three of Wands can be about thinking about the future and doing the growth that's needed to have healthier relationships. You know, so I feel like they're learning about equal give and take and reciprocity, and how connections don't work if only one person is giving to it. And then we have the Emperor. So remember, I don't think they're in full-on Emperor energy, but I feel like that ego, I'm hearing ego death. So I feel like their ego is dissolving. They're starting to see through that veil. Think about how they're thinking about themselves. They were thinking about their own ego and pride and stubbornness. So this is a really good sign, because it means they're starting to work on their divine masculine energy. That's good. Let's see what's blocking them. That's really good. Aries. There's also a phoenix on there. Like there's a ram there, but there's a phoenix there. Let's see what's blocking them. The Sun. So they could have some unhealthy traits here. What could be blocking them? They could be someone who is not choosing happiness right now. There's still healing that they need to do with the Sun. You know, there's still clarity that they need to come by, have epiphanies they need to have, healing they need to do. And again, maybe right now, this card also speaks about travel. Not the Sun card, but this specific card says voyage, travel on it. Right here. But this person could still be in a situation where they're not choosing happiness yet, right? They could still be choosing work, or there's still healing they need to do here. And we've got the Three of Swords. So again, there's healing they need to do. Nine of Cups on the bottom. For some of you, there could be addiction. There could be addiction still blocking them that they need to heal. Three of Swords for what's blocking them. You know, there are still wounds they need to heal here. Past wounds, maybe from childhood. We see children on this card. So childhood wounds. I think that they still need to forgive themselves. That's another thing that happens when you become self-aware, is you have to go through this energy of shame. I don't think you have to, or you should be made to feel that shame. But that is like, that's what I experienced. That's what other people talk about experiencing. Because you kind of see where you self-sabotaged, or you see where you pushed people away, or you abandoned yourself. And there is shame that comes with that. So there's an energy where they need to forgive themselves, where they need to make amends with you. So until they're ready to make amends with you, being blocked. And the Nine of Cups, like they could struggle with positivity, especially with the Sun here. So they could be struggling with negative mindsets right now. And the Nine of Cups in love is a symbol in reverse that there's still more inner work that they need to do. Okay? So I want to look at this person's intentions moving forward on their own journey. I'm not going to get intentions about you or actions towards you right now, because I don't want to. I do in a lot of my readings, right? But for this reading specifically, you're trying to release the outcome. You're trying to remain detached. It's okay that you're here watching this. I don't want you to feel bad about that either. Maybe you're watching less tarot these days, right? That's another sign that you're starting to detach, is you watch way less tarot. You know, I know I'm a tarot reader, but as someone who watches tarot myself, there are times where I need to like give myself a break from watching tarot, right? So maybe you're, in a spot where you're not watching every reading. Maybe you are watching my readings because some of you say you watch them just to learn from them, which is fine. That's totally fine. But by giving you like their intentions and actions, I don't want you to stay like keep attached to like a time frame or anything. So I just really want to see what their intentions are towards healing moving forward. So what is this person's intentions towards what they're going through right now, the healing? What are their intentions moving forward? What are their intentions moving forward? The Hermit. So that's what the Star. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. So this is exactly what I mean. Their intentions moving forward, they're going to continue to self-reflect. They're going to continue to heal. And the Hermit's journey happens by themselves, right? As much as you want to, maybe at one point you wanted to snuggle up in the Hermit cave, right? And reflect together. The Hermit journey it's called the Hermit for a reason. No one else is around, right? Interesting. Do you see how that just came out? I'm going to take it. So their intentions, they're intending to continue to keep withdrawn while they continue self-reflecting, healing, maybe even withdrawing from some other things in their life. And we have the Star, which is about healing. So right now, their intentions on their journey are to heal from these things. Just like I think that's your intention, to keep moving forward and healing. So I like that. Beautiful. Nine of Pentacles. So they want to work on self-improvement. Their intentions moving forward are to stay as an individual, single. So that could even involve releasing like another connection in their life. I think that's really good and it's healthy. So what is your advice moving forward? What should you focus on? What should you focus on moving forward? What should you focus on moving? No? Okay. So, what should you focus on moving forward? We have the Six of Wands. We have the Six of Wands. So moving forward, Spirit wants you to focus on your success, celebrating victories, right? Celebrate putting up boundaries, celebrate how long you've gone without chasing, celebrate and show gratitude to anything that you're accomplishing right now. I also always get an energy with this card. Like, again, maybe you're doing something online, focus on that. But the shadow of the Six of Wands talks about feeling unloved, feeling unseen, feeling neglected. So you could have a neglect wound that you should keep healing and looking at. And when you heal that, it's like you don't allow anyone the power of making you feel unloved and neglected, because when you love and show up for yourself, a lot of people who have healed the neglect wound or didn't have one to begin with, imagine what that's like. When they come into a situation where someone is neglecting them or breadcrumbing them or being hot and cold, they say, this doesn't feel nice, this doesn't work for me, you know? But when we have a neglect wound, we can keep feeding into situations like that. And I've been talking about this. This could stem from your childhood. Like if you felt neglected as a child, or you felt like you weren't seen, you weren't loved, maybe you felt like you had to ask for attention or you had to do things for attention. In my house, it became cleaning. So even as a young child, I would like clean the house on the weekends. I would make my parents breakfast in bed. I would make them coffee. And looking back, I was wanting their approval. I was wanting them to love me, to see me. So I started trying to earn it, right? And people please to earn it. And a lot of people with this neglect wound, they kind of can attract people who are inconsistent and hot and cold and neglect them, because we're not meant to carry that wound with us forever. We're meant to heal it. So if you resonate with having the wound of neglect, definitely look at that. We also have Five of Cups here, and this is about healing from past wounds, which is why I brought up the neglect wound. So the Five of Cups, that's about, forgiving yourself, right? That video that I haven't posted yet, I have a moment in it where I talk about how, I'm also like mad at myself that that I allowed someone to treat me that way. So very important, forgiving yourself for even having these wounds if you feel responsible. But again, I'm hearing like healing past wounds, releasing attachment over this person, and focusing on yourself. You are the main character of your story. Six of Wands. You are the main character, not this person, not being in a relationship with this person. You are the main character in your life. One thing that might be helpful is think about it like this. You know how we all watch these shows where there's these storylines and we yell at the TV, why would you do that? Like, why would you be with that person? You deserve better. You should be with that guy. Imagine that you are watching yourself in a movie. If you were watching yourself from the outside and you were the main character, what would you be yelling at the TV right now? Right? Or think about the past version of this connection. If you were watching it from the outside on television, what would you be telling that main character? What would you be thinking about that main character? What advice would you give that main character? You're the main character in your life. I just want to read something really quickly to you. Although I felt called to, I heard a few different wounds in this. I just want to read you the neglect wound really quickly. Do not chase love. Do not beg for it. If it is not freely given, it is not love. And it's an unknown quote. I wouldn't say it's not love. It's not healthy love, right? It's not healthy love, that's for sure. The neglect wound is not just about what was done to you. It is about what wasn't. It was the love that was withheld, the comfort that never came, the emotional presence that was absent when you needed it the most. This wound convinces you that your needs are too much, that your pain is invisible, and that love must be earned rather than freely given. It manifests as self-sufficiency to the point of isolation. So think about it. If this person, I was seeing them as very withdrawn, right? Maybe hyper-independence, they could have a neglect wound too. It manifests, or it shows up in us. It affects us in different ways. Some of us, we chase love. Others run from love because they don't know how to receive love. People pleasing to avoid abandonment or deep struggles with receiving love and care. You may fear being a burden, struggle to trust that others will show up for you, or subconsciously seek validation from those around you who remain emotionally distant. And it's like you're living out that wound where you, deep down, you just want your parent to see you and choose you and love you. That's your wounded child. Repeating the cycle, hoping this time will be different. Healing the neglect wound. Like, look at this. This is a card. The shadow is about neglect. This is about healing past wounds, which is exactly why I said this. Healing the neglect wound begins with giving yourself what was once denied, even in this connection. Attention, care, presence, unconditional love. And that's why I said, like, if you wanted love from this person, give love to yourself. If you wanted consistency, give consistency to yourself. Start showing up for yourself consistently. It requires unlearning the belief that your needs are unimportant and embracing the truth that you are always worthy of love and support. You are not meant to go through life unseen. You are not meant to be a burden for needing connection. And when those dynamics attract each other, there's triggers that happen, and sometimes the person on the other end, the avoidant, can make someone or react in a way that makes the anxious attachment feel like they're asking for too much, or they're too emotional, or they are too needy, right? When you stop waiting for someone else to prove your worth and choose you, and start showing up for yourself, you break the cycle. And that's what I mean. Do it for you. Break the cycle for you. Not because you hope that it'll propel this person into their healing journey. Not because you want to hurt them. Do it for you. Break that cycle. And then moving forward, when people show up into your life where you feel like you have to chase or beg or prove yourself or people please, stop doing it. And again, I know I say this is, it's so easy. Just snap your fingers and you can be healed. No, I've been working on this wound myself for many years. The love you seek was never outside of you. It was waiting for you to claim it all along. And sometimes I talk about this. The love we're chasing, we already have that love within us, and we're essentially chasing someone for love and running from ourselves. What else? So, a deeply ingrained sense of emotional, physical, or psychological deprivation, often resulting from childhood neglect, emotional unavailability, or unmet fundamental needs. This wound manifests as feelings of invisibility, low self-worth, and difficulty advocating for one's needs. As past experiences, oh no, I'm running out of battery. I don't care. Past experiences may have taught that expressing needs leads to rejection or disappointment. I can tell you what happened in my house when I expressed a need. I was punished. I would be punished. If you watched that mother-father wounding video that I did, I spoke up about my needs as a 35-year-old, and I was punished. I was rejected. I was disowned. It was only in 2025 that I truly started putting up healthy boundaries for the first time in my life. Like, it was that was a hard lesson. There's a lack of boundaries wound in here too. Where am I? Some may struggle with self-nurturing, feeling undeserving of care or attention, while others may seek validation and recognition externally, believing they must prove their worth to receive love. There may be an internalized belief that one must be self-sufficient to survive, leading to hyper-independence, avoidance of intimacy, and difficulty trusting others to provide support. Emotionally, this wound can create cycles of loneliness, deep sadness, or a fear of being forgotten. Physically, it may manifest as chronic fatigue, a tight chest, or digestive issues. Over time, unresolved neglect can lead to patterns of overgiving, emotional numbness, or an inability to feel truly connected in relationships. Watch for patterns of neglecting self-care, tolerating one-sided relationships, or feeling unworthy of being prioritized by others. And maybe for you, you said to this person, I would like you to prioritize me more, right? And maybe they shamed you for it. Or they said you were too demanding or whatever. It can be so hard to ask for help. It can be so hard to be vulnerable and ask for love and ask for attention. All right. So I'm just going to give you, I wasn't going to pull out this book. Again, Sacred Shadows, The Reckoning Co. Everyone asks me. I think she's probably seen an influx in book sales, which is fine. This book is amazing. I actually bought her other books. I don't even know what they're about, but this one is I think this is my favorite book ever. I'll share what the other ones are about. One of them is about tarot. But man, what a book. Journaling prompts so that you can think about this. Because journaling about it, identifying where the cycle started, what is the core wound, right? Helps you break the pattern. When did I first learn to suppress or ignore my own needs? Do I struggle to ask for help, and if so, why? Have I ever stayed in relationships where I was emotionally neglected? I don't know. Every reading I do where there's a chaser, they're being emotionally neglected, and they continue to chase, right? Do I believe I am worthy of care, love, and attention just as I am? And if you're chasing someone for love, feeling like they need to choose you or that you need to prove your worth, how can you feel worthy of care, love, and attention, right? How do I react when someone offers to support or nurture me? Do I accept it or resist it? For the longest time, I felt very uncomfortable with it. Like when you guys would leave me nice comments, it was like I was not good at accepting compliments. When people tried to, send me donations or decks, I would always feel this guilt. Even when I had my surgery and my partner was just doing everything for me and showing up for me, I felt bad about it. And we shouldn't need to feel bad for receiving love that we so freely give others. So start giving that love you freely give to others to yourself. What childhood experiences shaped my beliefs about receiving love and care? Have I ever ignored my own needs while prioritizing others, and how did that affect me? It conditions you to it. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, right? The more normal it feels. If I could speak to my younger self, what would I say to reassure them about their worth? Maybe you didn't have a parent who would tell you that you were doing a good job or that they were proud of you. I'm thinking of, is the movie The Help, where she says to the little girl all the time, to say, I am smart, I am kind, I am beautiful, or whatever. I'm not quoting it correctly at all. You know, maybe you grew up in a household where nobody ever gave you positive reinforcement or told you the good things about you. Maybe they just always told you the bad things about you. Meh. How can I begin to show myself the love and care I wish I had received? You know what I was thinking about the other day when I had that download about, was it your birthday and they forgot your birthday? We should normalize celebrating, like, I always struggle with my birthday because, clearly because of this wound. But it made me think, like, we should start showing up for ourselves the way we would show up for a partner. So on your birthday, think about, I bet you're someone who probably puts a lot of effort into gifts, right? Where you think you know what the person likes, you want to get them something that they like, or you put a lot of effort into it. Let's normalize putting that effort into ourselves. Let's normalize buying ourselves a birthday present, celebrating ourselves, celebrating our victories, buying ourselves a Christmas present, especially if you don't have a partner, right? Or you don't have people to buy for. Do it for yourself. Take yourself out to dinner. I did that and it was weird. I went and ate by myself and I did it like very spontaneously. And when I told my sister and my partner, they were like, "You did what? You went and ate by yourself at a restaurant? Like, usually I need emotional support to go into a restaurant." But let's like start showing up for yourself. Buy yourself flowers. Treat yourself. Date yourself. Anyway, what is one small act of self-nurturing I can practice today without guilt? Anyway, I just wanted to read that to you because I thought it would be beneficial for those who want to hear it. And again, I believe that tarot helps us to understand the energy and reflects back to us what we're struggling with or what we need to work on. You know, and people can read tarot however they want to read tarot, just like I can read tarot however I want to read tarot. I read tarot my own way, but for me it involves a lot of like what are the lessons you're meant to be learning here? Because again, this is a tool. I don't even know where that came from. This is a tool. He's not a tool. I'm saying tarot cards, you know, oracle cards, crystal balls, scrying, those are all tools that we use to channel energy. It's not just about the cards, right? They're a tool. They're meant to assist you. Anyway, that's why I talk about healing so much. For those of you who just don't get it. Clearly, I'm not your reader. All right. So, not that I want you to stay attached, but I'm just going to get a few channeled messages from this person. All right, so channeled messages from this person. I should have expressed myself better. So again, this person holding back. So I feel like they were holding back maybe healthy communication, maybe emotion, like emotional vulnerability. From what I was seeing, this person was probably communicating from a place of ego. We have self-love. I am still trying to heal. And that's what I was getting for their energy, is that, you know, there's still a lot of healing that they need to do before they could show up. And again, you've changed your vibration by releasing, by unattaching. One more shuffle. Forgiveness. I am struggling to get over the past. That was their blockage. So they're still feeling shame about the past of this connection. Maybe they're very resentful towards their parents and what happened to them in the past. Good. I see your side of the story. So they're starting to see your perspective, which was in their energy and for how you felt about them. You were feeling like they needed to look at this differently. So that's good. We have soul contract. The lessons I learned from us will never be forgotten. Exactly. You were meant to teach each other lessons. Confusion. I feel unclear about where we stand. Because I think they thought you'd be back. And if this person has never stepped up and healed to get you back. Anyway, unexpected outcome. Things didn't go the way I planned. Exactly. I feel like they thought that your boundaries were a bluff or that you would be back. Or maybe they came back in an unhealed energy and you kept your boundaries up. Maybe they weren't expecting that and now they're confused about where you stand, if you even want them. Reminiscing, 6 of Cups energy. I miss our inside jokes. You could have had inside jokes. I love inside jokes. But when you're not in on the inside joke, they're not very funny. Missed opportunity. I didn't act when I should have. Maybe this person feels like they missed their chance. Sabotage. I mess up the good things in my life. Remember how they're reflecting about patterns right now. And about how their ego contributes to tension, arguments. I let my pride and ego get in the way of our connection. Soul tie. I always feel connected to you. And like I said, if you are truly detaching, they'd be noticing a shift in the way they feel your energy. All right. I wasn't intending for that to go so deep, but I just can't help myself. All right, I'm at 10% battery, so I am going to go. 10, end of a cycle, Wheel of Fortune, the wheel turning in your favor, making adjustments. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.